Hey, welcome back to That Guy is Fragile. My name is Justin Stevens. We're back for our week 3 update, and I've got the frozen but now unfrozen George with us in the house. Dr. George, how's it going, my man?
Oh, doing absolutely fantastic. Had a very non-busy day up until about 5:30, and then everything really got hectic. And then you reminded me that we were supposed to do show tonight. I'm like, oh yeah, and I sent a few choice words that I cannot repeat on this channel, but you got the drift that I might have forgotten about the show.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I had also forgotten about it up until I mentioned that to you. But luckily, we've got the fantasy doctors, the experts that help us out. Wait, no, what's it called again?
The injury experts.
The injury experts. Yes. So, Dr. Jesse Morris's log that he so graciously allows George to pay for every month. And so we've got the injury updates for you for this week, and we've got pugs that are unplugging my stuff. Get out of here. Um,
So while Justin's having technical difficulties, I do want to say that if you like this show and everything we do, you can be a patron member. We have a Toilet Titles / patron or patron / Toilet Titles. Justin will tell you exactly what it is because that's really his job. But I'm just kind of filling the air here. But we do a lot of work on these shows. We put a lot of work and effort into it. We try to go above and beyond for our patrons. So, and as Justin and Jason like to say, we literally have a tier for any income, whether it's $1 or $2 or all the way up to where I'll become big spoon, little spoon, whatever you want. Don't matter. Fly to your house. I'll cook you a steak dinner. I'll make you my award-winning chili. I'll take you to a game. All of it will be on me. We'll get box club seats because you are a $1 million patron. So I will go above and beyond your expectations.
right, bathroom remodels. So we have they
Absolutely.
start anywhere from $2.99 a month up to $24.99 a month. That's at patreon.com/ toilets to titles. You can also catch us on Twitter. That's kind of where you can catch most of us some of the time at least, and that's at toilets to titles, at George Reed FF, at Justin FF underscore. But if you want to catch us on a more frequent basis, you want to hit us up on our Discord link, and
Yep.
all you got to do is send that Twitter DM asking for the link to the Discord, where we have guys in there talking about all sorts of different types of football. We've got guys talking about a little bit of non-football in some of the channels, but different dynasty football talk, fantasy related, Frankenstank related for our Frankenstank listener league players. Um, uh, all of the different channels. So that's on our Discord. So hit me up after you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know whenever we're up and going for all of our multiple shows throughout the week. But yeah, at the end of the day, we just appreciate you tuning in general. So crazy week for me at work. As many of you know, I'm a sixth grade math teacher, so a whole lot of attitudes and ups and downs this week. So it's good for me to get away on the weekends and watch and talk football. That's for sure. So um, all right. So this is the first week that we've used since last season anyway, that we've used the Dr. Jesse Morris and the injury experts spreadsheet. So if we have any hiccups, please bear with us. I'm going to let you start because the first name on the list is the your man from your team, and I don't think there's any real updates here, so I don't think we have to
No,
talk too long. But I'll just
no.
let you knock out the quarterbacks.
Okay. So the first ones we got three new ones that are added to this list. First one is Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. By now everybody knows he's on IR due to a concussion. They have on the report here that placed on IR, eligible to return week 8. I think that's an error. I'm gonna have to message Dr. Morse about that. IR is literally 4 weeks, and that would they put him on before this week's game, so he would be able to come back week 7, and that's when the Dolphins play the Arizona Cardinals. So we have a bye before then as well. So it's literally 5 weeks of rest for his concussion. He went to him, Jonnu Smith, and Raheem Mostert, their family. Tua Jonnu Smith and Raheem Mostert, all three of their families went to Disney the day after Tua suffered this concussion. So I'm not overly concerned. He's not showing any signs. He's meeting with doctors. He's meeting with experts. He'll make the decision to come back when he can. But right now he's on the IR and could be out for a few weeks. Um, Another one who popped up on the injury report: Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels dealing with a rib injury. Um, he stayed in the game. They're expecting him to play. Justin Herbert popped up. It was announced today he had a high ankle sprain, likely a grade 1. He could play through it. Right now, he's a 50-50 chance of playing. I expect him to play. Jordan Love for the Green Bay Packers. It's nice to hear that he's back at practice. He left with an MCL sprain. Most likely it's grade 1. There's a potential possibility he could return this week. I would not expect it. More likely than not, he will be back next week. Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills got a hand injury, as we all know. It's a left hand injury. It's a bruise. There's really no concerns. He's going to be a full go this week. And the one that I found to be the most interesting here is Russell Wilson dealing with a calf injury. They're calling it a calf re-injury to his calf strain. They said he could return to as early as week 3, but I'm not sure when he returns. He's going to be returning as a starter. I
Right.
think they like what they see, what they got in Justin Fields, the element that he brings to the game with his mobility. Um, he's playing okay. I think that they stick with Justin Fields when Wilson comes back, and he's going to be the backup until either Fields craps on the field or he suffers an injury. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that Justin Fields' best ability is that he's not Russell Wilson. So I agree with you
This is
completely
true.
on
This
that
is
end.
true.
So I'm gonna go ahead and start hitting. I'll hit on the new running backs
Yep.
here, and then you can pick up on the ones that were already on the list. But also, we want to let everybody know that when you don't hear us naming off every single name, it's because we also want you to go to the injury experts and log in and check out their website for yourself. So you may not hear some of the names, some of the deeper names. We'll definitely get all the bigger names. But guys, the spreadsheet is phenomenal, and it's definitely worth a few dollars a month. So,
Yep.
but we don't want to give away all their secrets and all of their work. So we just want to help boost their product some. So Isaiah Pacheco obviously is probably the biggest name on this list. That's of severe importance with him being out. Maybe him and Joe Mixon, but Pacheco's fractured fibula surgery, 6 to 8 weeks. No dip in production post surgery. So, which obviously means that Dr. Jesse Morse feels like Isaiah Pacheco, once he gets back, shouldn't have that big of a dip in production. But the 6 to 8 weeks part is a little bit scary because it was a full surgery. It just means that it's going to take a week or two longer than it probably normally would have. But still, obviously, on the short term IR. And I mean, in my mind, I think that it's Carson Steele that's going to have the better opportunity. We know what we have with all the other guys. Steele is the only one that's kind of the younger guy that's got that fire in him that we don't quite totally know just yet how he'll do in the pros. So I think if you're looking for high upside potential, we know that Kareem Hunt is past his prime. We know that CEH is still on the shelf. Like in my mind, I think it's Carson Steele. Um, see, Brees Hall obviously was in last night, and he got you almost 20 PPR fantasy points. Um, let's see, Joe Mixon, like I said, is out, right medial ankle sprain. It says out for right now, but then it says 50-50 for week 3. But I'm pretty sure I got an update on, it says doubtful. We got an update from the Sleeper app earlier today that said that Joe Mixon is doubtful for this week. So fire up Damian Pierce, I guess.
No, I
Except
think
that,
he's injured too. I think it's
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Cam
Except
Akers.
I think Cam Akers. That's it. That's it. Let's see. Of fantasy relevance, I think the only other one. I mean, we for this week anyway. That might be worth watching would be Tyjae Spears. It says ankle sprain, no real details. He says he's playing. But also a lot of times players will say that, so make sure you're monitoring that before the games. And then one for next week potentially to watch for would be Ramondre Stevenson. It says left pinky finger sprain, dislocated. So he did come back in and he did finish that game, but he also fumbled in the second half, and the ball was ripped from that left hand where that dislocated pinky finger was. So probably a pretty good chance that was the reason why he fumbled. So maybe worth monitoring there on whether or not he gets the run for next week, or if he's going to need some time off there. So, what about the guys that were already on the list, sir?
Yeah, and there's some big names that are on the list. Josh Jacobs from Green Bay, he's dealing with a back injury right now. Really no concern. I think they gave him the ball like 700 kajillion times last week. Obviously, the workload is eventually going to take its toll, but right now it's still early in the season. They're going to feed the beast that is Josh Jacobs. Devon Achane's dealing with an ankle injury. He looked okay last week. I think there's no real concerns there. Raheem Mostert has already been ruled out for this week with the chest injury. He's not going to be playing versus the Seahawks. Kenneth Walker is dealing with an oblique injury. I believe he's been ruled out for this week as well. Marshawn Lloyd, we didn't really talk about him much last week, the rookie for Green Bay, which is the reason why Josh Jacobs is really getting a kajillion rushes and touches every week. He's on short-term IR with an ankle injury. So you got Antonio Gibson from the New England Patriots, played last night. He's been dealing with a hip injury, but, he played last night. Dameon Pierce, we touched on him a little bit. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. It's likely a grade 1 hamstring strain, and they don't expect him to play this week, and neither do I. If I'm not mistaken, I heard he's going to be out as well.
Right on. Very good. So if you're in some of these deeper leagues, guys, this is all the more important for having this injury expert spreadsheet, because Raheem Mostert, Dr. Jesse Morris has him written down as out. The Sleeper app a couple hours ago posted him as doubtful, not quite out. So there's a big difference there. And Jesse Morris isn't going to put it on his site unless he's got some inside intel, or unless he already knows, or if he's just confident based off of what he knows about these injuries. So then he has on here that Jeff Wilson Jr. is in. So if you're in one of those deeper leagues and Jeff Wilson's sitting out there, instead of waiting for Mostert to be officially out to go pick up his backup, you can be going to do it now because you subscribe and you already know, because he had that posted before the Sleeper app posted that Mostert was doubtful, when some of us kind of thought that there was maybe a chance that he could play this week. So I'm just telling you, he's quicker on it. So next we got the wide receivers. Your biggest names are on the list that some people were a little scared of: CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson. Those guys are all in. We don't have to Amon-Ra. We don't have to sweat it with those bigger guys any longer. But there are still a few big guys that are out. There is a moderate injury concern for Cooper Kupp, and when I say moderate, that means more so than just what you're hearing a lot of times. But this is an ankle injury. He has a left high ankle sprain, and he said that so far he's not on IR, obviously, but he is definitely out. AJ Brown is out, suffering the hamstring strain from September 12th. He's likely out 2 to 3 weeks. And then Deebo Samuel, calf strain, likely a grade 1. He could miss 2 or 3 weeks as well. Also out this week, which we kind of knew about those, obviously. But just a quick reminder, make sure you go out and get those backups. Other guys to be watching for: Michael Pittman. He's new to the injuries on the Friday report. Unclear on how concerning this is. The thing is to me, when it's a veteran player and it happens on Friday, it usually isn't good. Typically, it's not a great thing. And like AJ Brown was a Friday thing. You know what I mean? Like these small little things just pop up late in the week when they weren't on the injury report, like all week long, and it's a veteran who's not going to miss time when it gets down to Friday and Saturday. Those are the days that they're ready to start practicing and really getting ready and prep. So Joshua Palmer has a new elbow injury and calf strain. Not definite on if he's in or out yet, but Dr. Jesse Moore says he's looking at about 25% on him. So and then other guys that are on a lot of fantasy art rosters, Shaheed, Worthy, Naylor, those guys are all in according to Dr. Jesse Morris with very little to no concern. So yeah, I think the biggest one on here to really be watching for though is that Michael Pittman Jr. to see what happens between now and then. Kind of in a toss up right now on who to go with that because Alec Pierce has already been playing a lot of the outside and deep stuff, and AR hasn't really been going towards Pittman all that much because he loves Pierce so much. So I kind of feel like whoever fills in for him probably isn't going to be getting too much of a role anyway. I think Adonai Mitchell probably plays better on the outside than Josh Downs would. So maybe Josh Downs gets a little bump by being more of that slot guy because Richardson has been targeting the slot guy more than Michael Pittman as well. So this would solidify Downs more in that slot. I still don't think I bump up AD Mitchell at all because he already hasn't really been able to have any kind of real connection with AD Mitchell yet anyway. So I'm already going to want to wait until I see it. But with Mitchell playing more on the outside in my mind, I think that just kind of opens the door a little bit more for Downs, but only in deeper leagues. And hopefully the Colts can realize that they have to run the football to win for once and
As
forever.
somebody who has a lot of Jonathan Taylor, I hope they run the heck out of the football. Um,
They should, but they
they
won't.
should. They should. Here's a couple other guys that we have listed as out that are not new on the list. Jordan Addison, he's dealing with a right lateral ankle sprain. Um, Keenan Allen is dealing with plantar fasciitis in the right heel. As somebody who has dealt with that frequently, let me tell you, I'm not a professional athlete, but man, it sucks. That is extremely, extremely painful. A couple other guys on here that are 50% to play this week. Um, Devon Veal, wide receiver from Denver. He is currently dealing with a rib injury. He's got a fracture, so it's really a pain tolerance issue with him. And Malik Washington from the Dolphins, he's dealing with a quadricep bruise. Is he ready for week 3? I can tell you right now, probably not. I don't think Washington's playing this week. A couple other guys that are on the report that we completely expect to play. Just be aware that they are showing up on the injury report, but it's not really overly concerning. Roma Dunze, Jaden Reed, uh, Jamison Williams, Jawan Jennings, who I really like this week with Debo out. Tyler Lockett, Josh Downs, DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if we see T. Higgins back this week or not. I think he actually comes back and plays, but I'm not 100% sure. Bronson, to answer your question, yes. If you send the trade offer question, we will answer it after we finish the tight ends because that's going to be next. Um, and then A.T. Perry and Roman Wilson. These are guys that we expect to be back this week. Justin, I'm going to jump real quick into the list of tight ends. There's probably
Okay.
about 8 or 9 names on here. I'll go over the new ones. I'll leave you the guys that were on here from last week, and then we'll go ahead and address the question.
Sounds
George
good.
Kittle is the big name on this list. He's dealing with a hamstring strain. He strained it on the 18th. He's likely going to be out for 1 to 3 weeks. So I'm not counting on George Kittle playing this week if I have him. I am looking for other options. And within the whole tight end landscape in general, as gross as it has been so far this year, outside of Brock Bowers, and really that's about it. Mike Gesicki maybe, but the landscape for tight end has been atrocious. So a big name like George Kittle going down does not really help you. Another name that is on the list here, Evan Ingram. He's dealing with the hamstring strain. He strained it in warm-ups last week, right before the game over the weekend. They expect him to miss 2 to 3 weeks. So if you got Evan Ingram, you already know you're dealing with a problem there. Taysom Hill, a guy who is near and dear to both Justin and myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You will not find bigger Taysom Hill fans than us. He suffered a chest injury, needed to be elevated at the hospital. They have him as 50% chance of playing. I don't think he does, though. Tucker Kraft for the Packers, he's dealing with a minor shoulder injury. They expect him to play. Greg Dulcich from Denver. Nobody really cares because nobody was playing Dulcich anyway, but he has a minor knee ankle injury. And the aforementioned former Miami Dolphin Mike Gesicki, he's dealing with a minor calf strain, but he's likely to play week 3.
Yeah, and we cannot exactly confirm or deny that Taysom Hill was elevated at the hospital, but he was definitely evaluated. Just to help you
Yes.
out there, George. But on the ones that were already on the list, Dalton Schultz, it looks like his issues with his ankle is mild. He's a go as of right now. Jake Ferguson. Most likely is going to play this week after a bone bruise. And then, really, that's about it. You already said Njoku was out, so,
Yep.
so yeah, that's about it as far as the list goes. And yeah, Bronson. So typically on this show, we do the injury reports, but if we get comments that come in while we're doing the injury reports, we will absolutely hit them up after the show. Otherwise, you kind of want to also tune in Sunday morning for the Sunday morning start sit show because the guys. George is on there every week, and I think I've been on there the first couple of weeks. But we answer all the start sit questions there as well. But we can also filter in some trade talk on those shows and just about any show as well. I think most of the guys on the team are pretty open about answering these sorts of questions. Like he got offered Devontae and Rachaad White for Carr, Mason, and either Terry or Waddle. Should he take it? Now, first off, if you're still tuned in, Bronson, is this a PPR league? That does kind of weigh a little bit for this one. And then, and also super. There you go.
Yeah,
Superflex, other quarterback.
We need a little bit more information on this. In a vacuum, I'm going to assume it's PPR. I'm going to assume it's a single quarterback league. If you are not the Christian McCaffrey owner, 10-team PPR, 2 quarterbacks, 3 flex. Okay, that makes a huge difference. I would hold on to Carr, Mason, and Terry or Waddle.
His other quarterbacks are Mahomes and Geno.
Yeah, I would. No, you don't. Hold on to what you got. I like Devontae. I'm assuming is Devontae Adams. Rachaad White. He's been extremely disappointing. Devontae Adams played great last week, but Tua will be back this season. Tua will be back this season. That I can guarantee you.
Now we don't know when, but
I would hold on to what I got honestly. Mason is playing at an RB1 level. Rachaad White is barely making an RB2 level. Carr is right now the number 1 quarterback in all of fantasy football. I would, especially in a 2 quarterback league, I would want a lot more for Carr. I love this. Right, I'll let you. I can pull it up. Random internet George.
That's not just a random internet guy. That's our man Wyatt. We love Wyatt. See, and these are his other running backs. So with that, even more so, you need to keep Mason. So, and I am of the camp that I honestly, I don't agree with some of what George said. And I still think that you need to keep the Carr and Mason side. So
ultimately, you agreed with what I said, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, yeah. At the end, like
I'm still right.
my reasonings are maybe a little bit different. So for me, because of your quarterback situation, I feel like you need to keep Carr. You need to keep 3 good quarterbacks. I'm okay with keeping Tua as well because it is a 2 quarterback league. So when he does come back, you have even more flexibility there. If anything, I know this sounds insane, but I might even try to when we get a little closer to Tua coming back, I'd try to trade Mahomes if anything because of that big name that you have, because you have enough in the quarterback as long as Carr is still playing at a decent level. whenever Tua gets back. You might look into trading away Mahomes to try to get a better running back situation, because by then you're going to be looking at CMC starting to come back, and Mason isn't going to be Mason anymore. So your running backs are where you're hurting the most, and I don't think that Rachaad White is enough for me to want to make this move to help that running back backfield, because I mean he's not going to help you a heck of a lot. So I think you can get more out of it. And or if you wanted to trade Carr now, I even still could see that. But I feel like you should be able, with the way Carr is playing now, you should be able to get something better than Rachaad White out of it.
Yeah, you definitely should get a lot more than Rachaad White. So I'll give you
especially in a 10 team.
I'll give everybody a little bit of teaser of some of the stuff that we do for our patrons. This is be a one time only, but we like to look ahead. You mentioned that you need running backs. Guys that are currently on short-term IR that are eligible to return as early as week 5. So they got to sit the first 4 weeks, be able to come back week 5. Nick Chubb, check your waivers, see if he's available. Jonathan Brooks from Carolina, check your waivers, see if he's available. If you need tight end help, TJ Hawkinson, check your waivers, see if he's available. Even the guy we mentioned earlier, Marshawn Lloyd, for Green Bay, the rookie. He's on short-term IR. He's likely to come back, and he's going to get the backup spot back. And if Josh Jacobs goes down, we've already seen that Green Bay is more than willing to hand a full workload to one running back. Marshawn Lloyd, as a rookie, he is a rookie, but he was highly touted coming out of college. He looked absolutely fantastic his senior year in college. He is somebody that is definitely worth stashing. And when he comes back, I believe he will cut into a little bit of the Josh Jacobs workload once he gets back. So those are just a couple of things that we do offer to patrons. Like we tell them, hey, these are the guys that are going to be coming back soon. Check your waiver wires. Like, and within that landscape of tight ends, like if you can get yourself a TJ Hawkinson, like you no longer have to stream tight ends. You got your every week set it, forget it tight end starter. Guys like Nick Chubb and Jonathan Brooks can definitely help out your running back room if they're available and you've got enough room on your bench to stash them. They're totally worth it. So that's just some of the stuff that we do for the patrons. And like we mentioned earlier, patreon.com/Toys Titles, as low as $2.99 a month. I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee at McDonald's these days for $2.99. And we're going to give you this kind of information to help you win your league.
No, I'm going to answer this part. Is CMC coming back? Absolutely, CMC is coming back. And CMC could probably play right now with little to no problem if he absolutely had to. But why? Like, why would he have to? So I just want to go over something real quick with you, Bronson, on their schedule coming up. And they placed him on IR just before the week 2 games. Okay, so that's important to remember, because that means he's eligible to return
week 6.
Week 6. Okay, so the next few games, week 3 this week, they have the Rams, who are absolutely depleted, and that team looks like garbage. Then week 4, they have the Patriots at home, mind you, so they can handle the Patriots with little to no effort at home in week 4. Week 5, they've got the Cardinals again at home, a little bit tougher matchup, divisional matchup, but that's the week that he's eligible to return. Now, wait. Right? No, the next week is week 6, right? Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So week 6 is when he'd be eligible to return. And that one is on the road against the Seahawks. So let's say they do lose against, say, the Cardinals, and they already have that loss against the Vikings. Then their record is still 3-2, with a very tough schedule coming up after that, because once he's eligible to return against the Seahawks, that's when he can use that game to try to get his feet back under him and try to get his playing legs ready to go. Because after that, they have the Chiefs, the Cowboys, a tough run defense in the Buccaneers, are typically a tough run defense, another divisional game, and then shortly after that, they have the Bills. So, I mean, they have a tougher stretch there in the middle of the season, and that's what they need CMC for. That's why he's sitting now. So he will be back for that tough stretch. And as we know with CMC, it doesn't matter if it's a tough schedule or not. He's going to get his. They're just playing precautionary right now with him because they don't absolutely need him on the field. Mason is able to play at the high level he's been playing. So yeah, unfortunately, that's bad for you because you have Mason in this question. But all right. And again, if you guys have any more questions like that, reach out to us. We'll put you up on the Discord, in our Discord chat, so you can talk to all of our guys, especially if you're in the Patreon, and we get you in the Patreon chat specifically. You get the waiver wire episode shortly after Monday Night Football. I think this past week we dropped it at 2 o'clock in the morning Monday night, so that when you woke up Tuesday morning, you had it. Especially for those of you that run Tuesday waivers, which is kind of insane, but it does still happen. But otherwise, you get your waivers in on Tuesday and out of the way, and you don't have to worry about it. But George, you have anything else you want to add, my man?
No, I'm getting ready to actually post in the Patreon all the guys getting ready to come back from. We're not getting ready to come back, but guys that are on short-term IR that you may want to start to keep an eye out for on your waivers. So I'm going to go ahead and post this here in just a minute. And this way all of our patrons have that information.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. Well, hey, guys, one last thing before we go. We hope that you enjoyed this information. I know it was a lot of information at once. You're more than welcome to go back, rewind, pause while you're setting your lineups, and make sure you tell your friends, just not the ones that are in your leagues. If you tell the friends that are in your leagues, then they might use this information to beat you. So, so tell all your other friends about us and try to get the word out. Word of mouth, obviously, is the best form of marketing for us. So we appreciate you as our intern marketers. George, you have a good evening and a good weekend, my man. And if I'm so lucky, then I will see you Sunday morning for the Start Sit show.
Nope. If I'm lucky, I'll see you Sunday for the Start Sit show.
Oh, golly gee.